The debut album in '79 got you some really good press, but it was the ensuing years where it all went just completely off the scale. Wheels of Steel, which I keep seeing was nearly called Heavy Metal Thunder, or they wanted it to be called Heavy Metal Thunder, released or recorded in February of 1980, released in the April, and then the moment, I suppose, at that time, the record's released, you get on April the 10th, 1980, your first appearance on Top of the Pops. What do you remember? I mean, because this was huge. Getting a heavy metal band on Top of the Pops was still a big news story. So what was the day like for you?
Well, I can remember the album went straight into charts at number 5, which we were all amazed at. We'd done the Motorhead tour, and Lemmy had been on Top of the Pops. They'd sort of been the first band to do it. And we got the news that Wheels of Steel were in the charts, and we went and recorded Top of the Pops. We actually recorded it with the same time as Judas Priest recorded one of theirs. And Def Leppard, it was on the same stage with the spiral hangings from the ceiling in the same studio. But the week later, it dropped down one point. So they only played it on Top of the Pops if it went up. And so we were all bloody downcast. Then the week later, it started rocketing up charts. And so we were on Top of the Pops, which were fantastic. We ended up doing it 3 times.
Well, you did that one twice because you were on April the 10th and then you were back again. It was 37 in the charts then, and then you were back on May the 1st when you got into the top 20, which is incredible. And again, for people that don't understand what it was like when there was no internet and anything else, knowing what was in the charts was a question of waiting for somebody to ring you or listening yourself to find out on the chart countdown where you were going to be.
Yeah, we used to listen to the chart countdown on a Sunday night. And it was, you got aware of all the other acts then that were in the charts at the same time. You found out you were competing with all the other pop acts as well as the heavy metal acts. And I can remember doing Top of the Pops one time with Graham Bonney and Motorhead. It was like a real special one. But on one of the Top of the Pops, which is, I live in a little small town called Mexborough, Hazel O'Connor used to live there, and Tony Capstick used to live there. And on one version of Top of the Pops, there were the 3 of us all from a little town called Mexborough on Top of the Pops.
Tony Capstick, he did Matchstick Men and Cats and Dogs, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah, and Ovis advert.
Yeah, he did. Hazel O'Connor did some great music. She did a song called Will You and Breaking Glass. Yeah, very, very talented.
Yeah, they've both passed away, unfortunately, now.
Yeah, great shame. So that album went gold as well. So you've shifted 100,000 copies of that. I mean, literally, there must be people knocking down the door to get in touch with you, to get you on record deals and whatever. And when you look at the amount of work, so you've done Wheels of Steel, that's out April, you're doing tours, and then in the August of the same year, 1980, you're in to record Strong Arm of the Law, which was released at the back end of 1980. So that is 2 incredible albums released in the same year.
Yeah, well, we had songs left over from Wheels of Steel. Half of the songs, obviously, because you'd go under 26, 27 minutes aside, unlike today when you can do CDs and do more. But yeah, we were, like I said, we're a writing collective, and we're all throwing out. There were 5 of us, all throwing ideas into the middle of the pan, and it was a very productive, creative period, actually.